Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This handsome man in military uniform is named Mr. Zhu, who is a top-notch bodyguard. He was sent to Hong Kong this time to protect Miss Keon, the daughter of a wealthy man. A few days ago, a murder occurred in Hong Kong, and she was a witness at the scene of the crime. There are 3 eyewitnesses in this case, and 2 of them have been killed one after another. Mr. Zhu's task this time is to ensure her personal safety before the trial, but I didn't expect Miss Keon to dislike this bodyguard very much. At this moment, Mr. Zhu forward and snatched the water glass from her hand, followed by a sudden explosion in the microwave. Mr. Zhu immediately pinned Miss Keon down under the sofa when the butler of the wealthy family rushed over, thinking that Mr. Zhu was a killer. I immediately got into a fight with Mr. Zhu. It took a while to realize that Mr. Zhu was not a killer, but a bodyguard who came to protect Miss Keon. Mr. Zhu asked the butler to dismiss all the bodyguards at home and then installed cameras in various corners of the villa. Miss Keon believed that Mr. Zhu's actions seriously violated her privacy, so she locked the door tightly. Mr. Zhu had no choice but to forcefully break in and warn Zhao Qian not to stand by the windowsill, and not to turn on the lights even when sleeping at night. The next morning, a group of people escorted Miss Keon out for a trip. For safety reasons, Mr. Zhu asked the butler to drive Miss Keon's sports car ahead. He led everyone in a car and followed behind. Suddenly, a motorcycle rushed out and headed straight for the sports car, and the truck behind it suddenly rear-ended. Fortunately, this was just an accidental traffic accident and there was no intense conflict. On Sunday, Miss Keon arrived at the mall with only 2 bodyguards, but to her surprise, a killer was quietly approaching her. With a gunshot, Miss Keon was frightened. At this critical moment, Mr. Zhu rushed over and several assassins were quickly killed. Finally, Mr. Zhu and Miss Keon broke through the encirclement and escaped from the mall together. What they didn't expect was that a top-tier veteran assassin named Wang was about to arrive. Mr. Zhu also realized through investigation that the other party was once a special forces soldier with excellent martial arts skills. In the evening, Mr. Zhu received a fax containing his detailed information, which was a battle letter issued by the assassin. For safety reasons, Mr. Zhu immediately began to strengthen his vigilance. And at this time, Miss Keon also began to gradually fall in love with Mr. Zhu. Late at night, Mr. Zhu was guarding the living room downstairs when suddenly the alarm from his waist sounded. Thinking that Zhao Qian was in danger, he immediately flew into the room. Miss Keon could no longer control her emotions and confessed to Mr. Zhu. However, due to his responsibility, he had to decline her kindness. At that moment, the alarm rang again. He thought it was Miss Keon playing around again, but he didn't expect it to be the killer this time. The assassin and his brother have infiltrated the villa, but there is only one person inside who is fighting to the death to resist. Mr. Zhu and the butler immediately came to support, and a fierce gunfight was imminent. At this point, Mr. Zhu pulled down the power switch and began hunting mode. The assassins fled everywhere and hid in the darkness again. At this moment, Mr. Zhu suddenly had a sudden idea and opened his flashlight to throw towards the enemy, killing all the assassins. Just as Mr. Zhu was about to throw it again, and his flashlight exploded by Wang, both sides immediately entered a stalemate, followed by a fierce battle. After a period of time, the assassin was killed by Mr. Zhu. Mr. Zhu was ultimately seriously injured and fell into Miss Keon's arms. After a period of time, Mr. Zhu has recovered from his serious injury. Before leaving, he left Miss Keon a gift. After opening the box, she burst into tears of joy. Mr. Zhu has been preparing this gift for a long time.